consciousness, the final frontier. These are the voyages into the universe between your ears. Our mission: to explore collective wisdom, seek out amazing secrets, and spread the message of personal potential.
The only constant is change. That's it. Everything else.
Yep,
everything
it's just a matter of pace.
Correct.
You can see it or you can't.
So if we
keep talking, the pyramids are crumbling. We just don't see it because it's too slow.
So if we tell someone ahead of time, you have to get that clarity. And I'll say this: I've taken a number of seminars and a number of full-blown courses that were very expensive, that were wonderful. I mean, wonderful. They were good. One point that was, I don't want to say glossed over, it was neglected, the clarity portion. It was always a taffy pull. It's this question, that question. Is it ever the same? No, it was never the same. We said there has to be a way to quantify this, at least qualify it. Qualify it meaning that we can see the pieces. Quantify it meaning measure it. We have one of the things we say is our realm in the universe is about the 1 foot between your heart and your lips, because from your heart comes your passion, and then you articulate it to the universe. So we say, well, yeah, we got about a 1 foot distance that we cover. It's from your heart to your lips. But if the universe, in the law of attraction, which we are firm believers in, it doesn't matter what you call it, it's there. The universe, God, higher power, great spirit, it doesn't matter. It's around us all the time. So even if you look at the religious things, it's like, okay, I'm Christian, I'm a Catholic, so God is all around me all the time. Well, the universe is all around me too. So that could, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. It's still the fact that if you don't, the universe is unassuming. It's innocent. It will listen to you and take you on your face. If you say X, it will give you X. But if you say, this is really what I want from life, it's going to give you what you want. Now, it's generally sometimes even going to give you what you need in spite of the fact you don't know it. But this is what we're talking about here. The articulation has to be clear so the universe can understand it. I mean, I truly believe in that stuff. People say, you're crazy. I said, I don't care if I'm crazy or not.
Yeah,
I'm a scientist. I've seen it happen.
You get vague results if you have vague desires, right?
You're right. You're right. So all the things that you gentlemen continue to bring up, we very much believe in. We have, in some cases, we cannot quantify. We can't measure quantities, but we can measure existence. So we can qualify these things. And when you take a look at literally, I'm looking at our little thing here. It's the 7 seconds between you and your prosperity. We have a big promise. We literally tell people what's in it. We tell them why it'll work, who we've done it with, and who's used it. I mean, that's it. Unfortunately, it really is rocket science when you get down into it and you have to start taking off. But what we've done is we've taken the process, ingested it to only what the people need. And there, it really is not rocket science. We do have one portion in there where we do warn people. Actually, two places. We warn them. We say, we're about to ask you to do something that might cause you a little bit of pain. And maybe not physical pain, but memory pain. We want you to go back to we talked about that exact second. So we don't want to do anything to anybody that's going to bring them depression or guilt or anything like that, because obviously that's not the way to go. And that's why we also tell them, I've done this myself, and I truly believe it, that once you make that decision that you're not going to live that way anymore, the next second is a victory. And remind them what you did was incredibly courageous, and it was a win. You have value just for that. The only other place that we give a small warning is that we say, you've already done this once, and when you go and you use this moment of truth or this life-saving moment, to go back and use it as a touchstone, just remember why you were at that moment to begin with, and take the good from it, which is that was life-saving. You saved your life, and because you saved your life, using this clarity, you will now save other people's lives. Whether you know it or not, it's going to happen, period. And that's where you go if you start doubting yourself. It's don't doubt yourself. You can't doubt yourself. This was courageous. This was a win. You saved your life, and you'll never, ever know until maybe later on, depending on what your beliefs are, how many other people you have saved. We saw when we were in the not-for-profit world, we call ourselves two schmoes in a wagon. We were doing this course, and we never expected people to be coming back in for one-on-one sessions where they're telling us the most intimate of things about how their life was so incredibly horrible. And I'm looking at my partner. He's thinking back. Where am I thinking to myself, good God, what have we done? And what kind of responsibility is this? And it's a huge responsibility. Obviously, it's all confidential, but you, as a 12-stepper, I know that when you get to that point, you want to tell somebody.
Yeah.
You want to share it because
we're wired like that, you know.
Yeah, you're exactly
you
right.
Go see a good movie, you want to share it.
For anything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anything that's a positive, you want to share it.
Right.
So
unfortunately, too many negatives.
You're a little bit of a therapist at the same time, right?
Well, you know, like Lucy out of Charlie Brown, maybe I could charge you a nickel a session. But no, I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express recently, so I probably could go with that. But
I use that joke. Nobody ever gets it.
Well, you know, this what is it, Trivago and all that new stuff now. But you're really right. This is a form of therapy, and it's even funny when you talk to folks that have done this and they've done it in a business sense. And some of these folks, when we did the initial testing, were our close friends, and this portion of it, same thing. And they came back and they said, I never thought of it that way. I never thought that I needed to be clearer. I knew what I did, but I just couldn't get it out. And once I got it out, they said it's like a weight being lifted off my shoulders. I don't stumble. And we just call it your 7-second statement. People want to call that an elevator pitch. I don't care. I don't care what you want to call it. I've been a salesman all my life since I was, old enough to ask my mom for a nickel for an ice cream cone, and everybody has. And I'm telling you, speed dating. You get, hey, you ladies out there, you're trying to get, something from the husband. This is the way to do it because we're not that bright, folks. Having been married 24 years, we're just not that smart. So you take the course, look for it, and get what you want. That's a ringing endorsement from a husband who knows his place. But when you think about it, it's a huge burden that's been taken off your soul because now you don't have to worry about what you're going to say. Yeah. The other techniques that we do teach people, we have one-on-one coaching too. For instance, let's say you get this clarity and you get your 7-second statement, and we can take that and insert it into an emotionally connecting story. Then we teach you the technique. We call it the accordion technique. There are going to be professional speakers out there, and probably you two gentlemen too, that have been in this situation. You get there for a 20-minute, you get there for a 10-minute and say, the guy behind you canceled. I need you for 20. They're like, great, because I got 10. Okay, that's when you're using tricks. When you get to be a professional speaker, the technique is I got an hour. I'm giving you the 10-minute thing that you asked for. It's the accordion. Do you have 10 minutes? Do you have an hour? What do you have? Stretch it. So if you want to call it an elevator pitch, that's great if it goes to the 3rd floor. What if it goes to the 103rd floor?
Yeah.
Or anywhere in between. So it's a conversation. This is not a sell. I don't really believe I believe in sales because I did it for a long time, and I'm still in it right now. This is sort of sales, kind of convincing people, if you want to call that sales. But I truly believe that if you don't understand why you're doing it, then the emotion of why you're doing it, you can't grab that emotion. And if you can't grab it, you certainly can't present it to somebody else. And we continue to say over and over and over again that communication is nothing more than the transference of emotion from one person to another. And if there's no emotion, it's just data. And data can be noise. Ones and zeros can be noise. But emotion, like I said, we're inviting you into the reliving room. We want them to relive it to the extent that we're giving the opportunity to relive it, whether it's a 10-minute deal or it's a 1-hour deal. But unless we as a community of beings, as humans, understand why we're doing what we're doing, and then we can't ever put it to use fully because we can't explain it. And I don't think it's really any more difficult than that. And we're not trying to make it any more difficult. We're trying to listen. I'm the last S in the KISS
Simple is
principle.
powerful.
Simple is always more powerful. What is that Occam's razor? The simplest solution is generally the correct one. I think that's correct. I just say I'm the last S in the KISS principle, and if it works for me, it can work for anybody. All right. It's just you have to use a little bit of humor, but you have to come up with it first. But it really is a scientific look at the passion process. We call passion of prosperity. We know that whatever your prosperity is, you define your prosperity. We don't. But we know that the thing that can block your prosperity the most is not fully understanding what is in that heart of passion, and then taking that passion and being able to bring it out into the universe so the universe can hear it very plainly, very simply, very innocently, and then it can manifest. Because if you don't speak, I truly believe that we manifest what we speak. We can think all day long, but when we speak, that's a declaration. Even if it's in a forest and nobody's there, I really think once it comes out of your lips, it's on its way to being a tangible item. If you can't get it out of your lips, I mean, who's going to hear it anyway? So that's what we're trying to. That's what we're doing with this particular part of our program. And we always advise people that if you like the storytelling thing, or you like the story methodology to build your story, it really is it works the best. You'll absolutely get your money's worth if you take this very inexpensive, very short webinar. It's ridiculous. We're talking 40 minutes. That's not a lot of time.
Share with us, and I'm not expecting you to give names or anything, but share a couple of success stories of
I'll give you numbers. I can't give you names, but I can give you numbers. There was a corporate entity in very rural South Carolina. I know, I live here. It's very rural. There are population centers and then surrounding poverty. And I'm not saying that's just the way it is. Right? There's population centers and surrounding farmland and a lot of poverty. This is a plant, a animal processing plant. It is almost 100% blue collar workers, documented or otherwise. Doesn't really matter. They're making $7 an hour, whatever minimum wage is. That's what they're working. 2 years before we started our process with the passion process, and then making the emotionally connecting stories, the total campaign for this. They were going to, for this other organization, big nonprofit, was plus or minus $50,000. And you'd say, wow, that's a lot of money. Okay, let's fast forward that 3 years using our program. You're nearly $400,000 using storytellers. Same people.
When you say a campaign, you're talking about fundraising.
Fundraising campaign, yes. So this is in a corporate setting. There's a particular large organization that has fundraising campaigns within corporations, and the money goes right to that, and then it goes to the hundreds of partner agencies, and they do fantastic work. Well, this particular corporation, like I said, they went from 50 to nearly 400,000 using our program. When I say using our program, the large not-for-profit was using our program to train their storytellers. So they were going out there and they were emotionally connecting. That particular, just on that note, that particular not-for-profit, which was a regional concern here in South Carolina, that was an additional something on the order of $2 to $3 million in addition year over year. And that they were about when we got there, they were about a 10 million. And when we finished with that, they had the program, they were around the 12 to 13 million dollar agency. So when you look at somebody say, well, this guy over here went from 50,000 to nearly 400,000, that's an 8x. But you go to the millions and say, hey, you went from 10 to almost $13 million year over year. That money talks, and other things walk. So it's successful. It's simple. We can't make it complicated. Oh, I guess we could, but it would be silly because it's so simple. Ask these questions, and then provide them a method to drop these things into. We turn the crank, the sausage comes out. Now, do we show them how the sausage is made? No, but they don't need to. We say, they don't. It's like making an ice cube. I know there's refrigeration involved, and there's cooling involved, and there's electricity involved. And okay, they need to know, put the water in this. This is how geek I am. Put the water in the Darth Vader ice cube maker, put it in the refrigerator, come back 30 minutes later, and you have your Darth Vader ice cubes. That's what they need to know. They need to know, how do I get from where I was to where you're telling me I can be? My job is to get them there. My job is to get them a win. And the design of this thing, I don't know how you can't get a win.
So how about on a maybe more of an individual kind of levels? People applying these ideas to maybe it's a wife trying to get something from the husband, or trying to teach the kids or get the kids to cooperate on some deal. Anything that's a little more relatable to individuals? I would
say to you this: there isn't a person that I've met. I would proffer to say that there isn't anybody that any of us have met that really shouldn't. And I say this because I've had to do it twice in my life, and it was unpleasant for me because I didn't have this method. But would want to take a look at where they are with this. And because I know everybody is passionate about some one thing, but maybe they've never even had the opportunity to be asked. A lot of folks are waiting to be asked. That, for me in particular, I'm a little more gregarious, so I don't dwell on that. But I say, well, if people will be waiting to ask, let's ask them. Let's do this. So even we'll tell people, here's an opportunity to be asked. And at the end of this, once you're asked, now you know what you can do with it, because you know what you want to do with this thing. Whether it's whether I want to reach my children. I have a wonderful person that I'm working with, and she is starting up. She's going from employee to entrepreneur, and she has a couple of kids, and they're wonderful. She doesn't live anywhere near me. She lives up in Cape Cod. No, it's Martha's Vineyard, excuse me. And I live in the middle of South Carolina. But that means, so we do a lot of these sessions. But getting her to where she needed to be, just to make the jump, just to start trying. She wanted to do it. She wanted to do it, but she wasn't sure if she had what it took. And I said, just the mere fact that you're thinking about it almost guarantees you have what it takes. But if you want to see and look inside yourself and pull it out, let's do this exercise. She's a single mom with 2 kids. And how much more personal do you want to get?
Right.
I don't know. I know we talked to clergy, politicians, people that are looking to become partners in law firms, folks that are trying to get in medical school. What else? Non-for-profits, personal. We did a couple of corporate things for personal development, and that was on the sales side, but it was more along the lines of, is it in you? Because a lot of folks, they're taking a job, like a sales job, and they're muscling through it, and that is miserable, I can tell you. And once we figure out, I really want to be here, or I don't really want to be here, a lot of folks would just up and, it's time for me to go because I don't really want to be here. And it's good for both of them. Why stay in a position that you're miserable with and perhaps underperform and be always worrying about it? Just leave, let the company get somebody else, and you're both happy. What's the second best answer we can hear in sales is no. Thank you very much. Here's my card. If you change your mind, call me, but I don't have to spend any more time with you. I can go to the next person. So I believe that I hope that was an adequate answer to your question, but it can be used for personal development for any reason. But I like what Gabby said when it comes down to the personal development of clarity of just exactly what am I doing here? For me, I would tell you, at 55, I look back on all the weird things that I've done. And generally that was being at the right place at the wrong time. Medic, aviator, naval aviator. I was even on the tissue and recovery team for South Carolina for a year. That was grueling. The guy running down the hall with a heart, that was me. Okay. A lot of weird things. Did that fulfill me? Yeah, in the moment, but until I sat back and I did this for myself, and trust me, it was nowhere near as methodical as it is now. And it was tough to say I'm really going down the wrong path here, folks. It's all fulfilling, but what I really came up to see, Tim, okay, what's your passion?
Yeah.
Teaching. I love to teach. I love to teach. I love to teach. I love to teach. There is no greater moment in my life, in my professional life, than when I see somebody dance and the light bulb just goes, zzz, they have it, and it can be never taken away from them. That is so incredibly fulfilling to me. And so I've gone from all science and medicine and all this to being a type of educator. I like to call myself a facilitator. The stuff that we do, your answer is always the right answer. I can't give you the answer. I simply cannot give you your answer because it is your answer and it can never be wrong. Can it be more right? Yes. The further into clarity you go, the further you can make it a righter and until it's a perfect answer. But my job, I feel for the rest of my life, is to get people from wondering if this is the right thing to knowing this is the right thing and what they want to do to help people with it. It's a gift. Yeah. And I truly believe that if we don't use our gifts, that we disrespect ourselves and we disrespect the higher power that put us here with that gift.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well put. I would only add to this, in my own experience running after different things, that it is after I accepted that the path towards finding it was not trying to actually search for it and try to discern, and sort things out and finally get it right, but rather really change the mindset, change the way you're looking at it, right? So if I was in a situation when my job stopped giving me fulfillment. Right. As a matter of fact, I couldn't wait till I almost was like thinking something has to happen, and
we're laughing because we've both been there.
Yeah, I'll be
like the first day.
So it's just not cooperating, and people were not kind according to my standard, and there was abuse, and you could see that there's little meaning, you had to be able to explain to yourself what kind of benefit I'm giving to humanity, and I just couldn't see it, and so there's this loss of, sort of like the underlying drive, that would make me want to go and every day and go to work, right? Or I was sitting in a car, commutes were like through the Midtown Tunnel in New York, and then through Lincoln Tunnel, and it's like 2 hours and road rage and
miserable.
I was carpooling with this one guy, and at least we could talk or whatever and share these thoughts or whatever. And at some point the shift happened, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna start looking at it a little bit differently. And I started at my job, right? I started living in the moment and like really seeing what is it that I'm doing right now, and I'm gonna enjoy this activity. I'm really gonna meditate, and I'm gonna start getting aligned and putting love into whatever I was doing. Be it writing a document. Well, if I'm writing a document, it's going to be a hell of a document. It's going to be high quality. I'm going to do some research, and it's going to be amazing.
Well,
right?
You know what?
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought. Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? And I kind of told myself, I'm not going to look for that higher purpose, right? With an assumption, and it's kind of like I let you think that if you are going to be shifting your mindset from this misery mindset into this mindset of positivity and enjoyment and doing things with love, whatever you do, right? That I'm going to know what my next step will be. It's going to come to me. The universe will show me.
It will.
Right? It will show me, because you know what? This one document that I'm going to do, going back to that example, right? It's going to make waves, because it's going to show a few things to people, and things will start happening. Things will start, So, and this is just one example, right? But it's everywhere in your conversations with people. For example, in a meeting, right? 6 people and 2 or 3 people just love to make a sarcastic comment that things things will go into the most undesirable path, and things will just break down, and they want to dwell on it, on whatever, or they're going to talk about how things have gone bad, in the previous, whatever processes that we did or whatever. And I just wouldn't hear of it. I would change the subject quickly. I would tell a joke. I would take the focus away. And pretty soon they kind of understood that it's not going to work with me, with God. You're not going to be able to perpetuate it with me, right? And they kind of understood this. Well, I guess they kind of understood he is not participating in this. And that kind of diminished and stopped eventually, right? And then I started things really did start happening, Yeah, I got
dedicated.
I got interesting projects and interesting, sexy projects. Things interesting projects. I'm myself curious how to do it now. It's a challenge, right? And so little by little, I'm thinking, why in the world I wanted to go away? I mean, it was all right here, right? It was all right here. I was just not finding the right kind of sort of like. Yes.
Let me jump in, Guy, because what you're talking about has to start with introspection.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
which he did.
And you did, right? And unfortunately, what I see is that virtually, and the percentage of people walking the planet who are introspective to any degree is damn small.
It's very small. Yes.
People don't question. We don't question. We don't ask that question. What am I passionate about?
Mm-hmm.
And so I see the value in this process of having somebody on the outside, because you won't answer it for yourself, really, right? If you don't do that, but somebody on the outside coming in and asking you a question, a pointed question that can be difficult to answer. There's some pressure there that you allow to come to bear on yourself because it's somebody else asking the question.
Mm-hmm.
And you will go through the process. Whereas if you try to do it on your own,
if you did find your passion, but you're in kind of repeating all the same patterns of thoughts, that were not productive, I think the result will be the same though, right? It has to happen. The mindset shift the transformation has to happen, or else you're going to just get into the same dead end.
Yeah,
right?
But if you're blind to what it is you want to do or want to be, and
you at least need that clarity, right?
Something brings that to you.
Mm-hmm.
You've had a mind shift. You've had a shift, and I don't think you're going to be the same person from that point on. I think you will then start. Just look for now. What do I do with this?
Yeah.
I think
there's no question about the benefit of. It's a known thing. I mean, if you want to have a shortcut to that, right? Get help. Get people who've done it. People who could share it and lead you, because just being in the vicinity of their vibration is already kind of helping you.
So.
Right?
There's your quantum mechanics. Tip. That's string theory.
Yeah.
But okay, so there's a joke, but it really is true. The mindset has to change, and then the next thing that has to happen is maybe somebody else can question you. The mindset can be as simple as, let me try this out. Maybe this. What's this all about? Oh, this prosperity, whatever. Maybe someone gets a referral. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I live by a number of axioms, one of which is the universe tends to unfold like it's supposed to, despite our best efforts to change that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe what our area, when they come into our area, whether it's online, and most of it has been live, it's a safe space. Let them know. I'm not here to judge you because two things. I don't know what to judge you for, and I don't really care. Mm-hmm. My job isn't. There's someone who will judge you. People will judge you. That's not me today. That's not me ever. For you, it's simply to provide you with this opportunity, and it's up to you to take it. But you took the first step. Mm-hmm. Whether it was by prompting someone, said, "Hey, you really should check out the story engineers or the prosperity engineers. Check their stuff out." maybe they do, maybe they don't. But if they do, they took action. And the first step is you took action, Gabby, in the car. Tim, you described your story to me. You took action as well. It doesn't have to be anything monumental, but in order for you to move forward, you have to overcome inertia, which is the hardest thing to do, which is, for those of you that are not science weenies and geeks like I am, it's the amount of energy you have to put into a system to get it to move at all from a standstill. And it took an enormous amount of energy to get my very large self to move. And I'm telling you, and it was emotional energy, not the physical energy I had that time. It was emotional energy.
I'm reminded you of your story, Tim, about the dog. Remember?
Yeah.
On the porch, sitting on the porch.
You like that, huh?
On the nail, that was hurting, but not enough for the dog to start moving.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, does this hurt? Yeah. Do I care? Not really. It just wasn't enough. And what we're trying to provide in these is a very safe space. So even if they don't speak their truth, they know. And when I talk about speaking your truth, it's saying what you want to say. If there were no restrictions, I'm sort of like that anyway. I try to be as tactful as possible, but I will tell people what I'm thinking, and even if it's not what they really want to hear, but I always do it in a very, very polite and very a way to try to let them know I'm not trying to disrespect them. A lot of folks are not like me and just very gregarious, and they will. Tim brought it on very easy, very, very well when he said it's an outside pressure that we're bending to all the time. And my friend in Australia, Heather Joy Bassett, it does this kind of work where she provides these safe spaces, and literally it is this simple, gentlemen. It's okay here. You can say what you want. I'm trying to get them to the next step after they've taken some action and say, now that you've said what you want to say, you know that you can say it. Let's see what it is, and let's see if we can make it as clear as possible so it's going to provide you the best benefit. That's really where we are. It's not any more complicated than that.
Yeah, that's where it starts. You should start to ask the right questions, right? And
start to ask any questions, anything.
Any questions first, right? Hopefully to get to the right question.
And then the right question. Yeah, you're right. You're totally correct.
Because there's inertia in that area too. We don't question anything, so you don't think the question. Yeah.
There was Thomas Jefferson had a quote, and I'll just paraphrase it, but because I'm not really good with that memory, but it's something to the effect of, be bold, question everything, even the existence of God. For if he be a righteous God, he would encourage that. I am my given name is Thomas. I go by Tim. It's I don't know. Mom didn't like Tommy, so the dad didn't care.
You're scaring me because that's me too.
Yeah, so she called me Timmy.
Really?
Right? So,
yeah.
Right. So my dad was Thomas.
It can be.
Thomas Timothy.
Hey, we are twin sons of different mothers. That's what it is. Our fathers actually went to different high schools together, if you can believe it. Wait, you have
You'll
to
get that one later, Gabby.
He who laughs, you'll get that when you get home, right? Exactly. You'll have my information. Just call me and laugh on the phone. I'll know you got it.
Yeah.
When you look at the fact that I question everything. I am the original St. Thomas. It's like, when in the Catholic Christian faith, Jesus comes up, and he's the only guy out of all the apostles that had the courage to say, hey, aren't you the guy that we just saw get killed? I'm like, he's the guy putting his fingers in his, that's the guy. That's me. I had to learn, though, to be tactful, to be patient, maybe not to say things, but I will say what's on my mind. I am the absolute exception to the rule, which I had to understand, and now that I understand, I look around and all I see is people wanting to speak their truth and wanting to know what to do, what's really inside them. My partner the same way, for different reasons, but the same exact way. And it dawned on us, well, why don't we examine this? Why don't we do some examination? Well, we're just, we're two schmoes in a wagon, but we got the credentials. Let's start taking the slide rules out. I got it. I can dig it out for you. I got a slide rule.
What you're saying, that's actually, I think that this is a wonderful and a very American quality, Why can't we do this? This is like, that's incredible quality. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
They don't have that. Like, I'm coming with the Soviet background, right? I was born in the Soviet Union, and there's a lot of inertia, and they always wanted somebody to do this for them. So the government will take care of us. you know. Or some people, the American quality of just, hey, let's do this. What do we need? Let's figure it out. Let's get to work on this, right?
Thank you.
It's just kudos for you. To you.
Well, thank you. That's very, very kind of you to say. I think it's in my particular DNA. My father, who's passed, would be very proud of the fact that he always said to me as a little kid, your mouth is going to get you into trouble, because I was a bit of a wiseacre, and paid the price many times. And I think he'd be very proud of the fact that I finally made a way to make a living with this mouth. So, but that's really it, gentlemen. The other part's a story part, and that can be for another day. That can be on the website. But this is the essential of what we do. It's not necessarily easy, but it is simple. And if it's not simple, then people won't ever gravitate towards it. But you folks, you two gentlemen, were incredibly intuitive to understand that the first movement has to come from the person. Once the person's made the first movement, we can guide them. We're facilitators. We're guides. We're like Sherpas. I even have the funny hat. I have the Sherpa hat. It's great. I love it. But we have to guide folks and say, okay, try this, try this, try this, try this, until they realize, and then they can do it. There is no inherent way for me to explain to somebody what to do with their passion. All I can do is say, you have passion, you know it. I'm gonna try to help you get back there to understand why it is, and then you'll know what to do with it. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Ta-da! I'm the last session of the KISS principle. That's it.
All right. Well, because Gabi's got a time out anyway.
How do they find the webinar? Right. How do they find the webinar? And how do
let's give everybody all the particulars on how to get more.
All right. The website is www.storiesclosesales. That's stories, plural, closesales.com. And if you need to send us an email, simply send it to stories@storiesclosesales.com. If you need, I give my number out all the time. Is that okay for you guys?
It's up to you.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind at all.
My phone is going to
ring. Well, we get so many calls now from so many different folks from all over the world. My wife has just acquiesced to the fact that I'm going to get a call at 2 a.m. because it's in Australia. It's 4 p.m. the next day. Right. And I'll just ask her, say, hey, what were the lottery numbers and how is my Thursday going to be? So if you want to contact me directly, just contact me at area code 803-665-8049. That's 803-665-8049. And for some bizarre reason, I don't pick up, like I'm in a class, just leave me a message. You'll get a return call within one business day, probably within an hour, but I have to be a little more realistic. But it's www.storiesclosesales.com. And if you want to email, it's stories@storiesclosesales.com. That's it. That's all I got.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Best of luck to you and Brad. And we really enjoyed this interaction. I appreciate that and your time.
Well, thank you for your time, and the fact that you guys would be willing enough to reach out and give me opinions. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Hey, and it's okay. It's okay.
It's not sure that you're
right?
No. That's not no. Opinions are like noses. Everybody has one. Excuses are like, and they all stink. So opinions are always well taken by us, because when it comes down to it, opinions make us look at what people are thinking and how they're thinking. So opinions to us as scientists are extraordinarily important, and I can't thank you gentlemen enough for that.
You're welcome.
All right.
That's ended.
Thank you very much.
Out there, thanks for being here. Tim, thanks for being here. Gabi, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we'll see everybody next time.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Hi, this is Tim Starr. Thanks for joining me and Gabi on the universe between your ears. We really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us for a little while. And we'd like to see you again. So be sure to subscribe wherever it is you're consuming the podcast from, whether it's YouTube or Stitcher or iTunes or whatever the hell else is out there. We want to see you again. We also want to hear from you. So let us know what you think of each episode. Let us know if you got an idea for a future episode that you think would be just killer. Absolutely. Let us know. All right. Thanks again, and we will see you next time around.